Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. All right, ongoing molestation on the venue that is Omnitrans. The state's fake sun is over. Again, it remains over. The state was covering it up in Ontario. And the state engages in stalking constantly with its environment, and so it is unveiling itself. All right, this is what I showed you at the Terra Vista Town Center. It's present, always present. It's subdued, and then the state engages in just revealing its fake sun that remains central over my head. And so this is Inland Empire and Milliken. And as he's opening and closing the door, this is impossible light activity that is used as a means to terrorize and to molest. Indirected light is stationary on the ground on the bus. I showed you this, for example, while the state was cycling impossible light activity through the center of the bus at the Ontario airport. All right, that's a method of directed light, keeping it on the venue. This is P.O.C. It's 9:09 a.m. at Ontario Mills, by the way. All right, I did document what is the placement of the state's fake sun squarely over me, directly over me through the window, and you also have what is coexisting, what I'm documenting on the podcast, the same ongoing impossible light activity on the bus. All right, so this is the state that is, first of all, in direct conflict, and this is what I'm speaking to in the video. You have what is the state that's keeping its fake sun over the Terra Vista Town Center Plaza, okay, and then specifically over my head as I cross the street, and I'm standing in front of the Barton Plaza, which is where the bus stop is for Route 66, which is this is substantially north from Route 61. All right, I'm on the Route 61 going from Hope Boulevard. Route 66 is from Foothill Boulevard. The state is documented already keeping its fake sun over me for both routes. But just speaking to what was yesterday, the state's fake sun is remaining over me in Rancho Cucamonga at the Ontario, I'm sorry, not the Ontario, at the Terra Vista Town Center. All right, and this is molestation while directed light. This is intentional conduct of demons that are monitoring and have an issue with touching while they are stalking with light, stalking together as a group, and monitoring with communication devices. It's 9:13 a.m., and that's what I captured on video. And the video is showing what is a use of a commercial vehicle. That's a truck, and that's a McDonald's, the bone and broth Vietnamese cuisine, and the McDonald's at the corner. These are venues where they are monitoring, and that was an example of what they're systematically doing while the bus is en route, all right? That is called stalking with light while they are monitoring, sitting in those commercial vehicles, maintaining presence, maintaining light, and monitoring with communication devices. It's 9:13 a.m. This is P.O.C. Okay, I did get off of what is Omnitrans bus number 2354 that's driven by African American male. License plate of that bus is 1545685, and I got on in Ontario at B&G Plaza. All right, and I did capture of what is capture video on the bus of molestation, of stalking with light. Molestation is the state is stalking with light and routinely engages in molestation. This is sexual violence while the stalker is monitoring you with the people of the state, and that's a group molestation because they're all monitoring together, and this is in concert with the government. And I'm showing what is Omnitrans still engaging in what is a molestation in that unnatural environment where they are intentionally present. 6WPS 550. Vicariously on behalf of a government not under any First Amendment constitutional rights of operating a business. This is the pattern of conduct underway, and they are engaging in a sexual molestation while they are monitoring in concert with the state, whose venue is present through them, which they are also contributing to, all right? And this is why I'm being molested with that which is not sunlight. This is why I'm capturing video of the venue while the fake sun is over me and directed light is all around, and I'm being molested with my shadows surrounding me, okay? That's audible activity creation in the state's environment. That's the malicious conduct of a demon-possessed stalker, license 1302445. It is currently 9:48 a.m. and that is documentation of what is a fake sun over the Fontana Metrolink train station. Understand yesterday, I was here in the afternoon. This is after 1 p.m. Remember, Omnitrans engaged in what was terrorism and harassment, targeted harassment, not arriving at the Rancho Cucamonga bus stop, where the state kept its fake sun in Rancho Cucamonga. That's where this is clearly where it's remaining right now, 24 hours ago. But you have you have me documenting what is molestation with that which is not sunlight, under that which is not the sun, remaining clearly over me through the window of this venue that is the Omnitrans bus, while I am taking Route 61. A different route, an entirely different day, the same presence, a central presence over my head in molestation with that which is not sunlight, the engineered light, okay? Omnitrans directly engaged in that sexual molestation and stalking, and that is stalking with and on behalf of a government, and it is currently, again, 9:48 a.m., that's P.O.C, at the Fontana Metrolink train station, where the state is keeping its fake sun not in anywhere over the Terra Vista Town Center in Rancho Cucamonga. Contrary to what I clearly documented, as I'm still sitting inside of Panera Bread at 8055 Haven Avenue, and I exit and I show you what is the fake sun. This is after 11 a.m. and I will be at the Fontana Lewis Library at this time. And again, I already showed you this. This is already documentation. All right. So you already know that this is the state's P.O.C. And you're documenting what is sexual violence and stalking by the government acting via the people while I'm at Terra Vista Town Center. And this is clearly not the sun, as the state's light source is already established as literally remaining over a venue such as the Upland Public Library, all right, over the ceiling. So I would never be able to capture it directly over my head in Rancho Cucamonga in the parking lot of the Terra Vista Town Center. But that's not what I documented. I documented it right there. And today, while I am inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, inside of that venue, you'll have what is the state's fake sun directly over that venue, directed light inside of that venue, while you have, because that's not sunlight, and you'll have that which is in a glaring conflict, the presence of that fake sun squarely over my head and remaining at the Panera Bread inside of the Terra Vista Town Center, directly over my head. All right, that's the P.O.C. I documented hundreds of third parties yesterday, and this documentation is going to that same entity. They are sex offenders, again, documented today, engaging in sexual violence while they are together corporately stalking in concert with the government, okay? 7 PLW 947. 8 EID. I can't really see that one. I'll get that in a second. Eight E or 8R. 8RID 356. Stalking at a stoplight under the fake sun and directed light. This is the system. Seamless. Systematic. Sexual violence, stalking, monitoring with communication devices, federal stalking, that's what that is, on the run by the demon-possessed. 8TVG 420, 8MQN 657. 6DRU 400, 8VWM 869, 4EBA 821, 8THT 080. It's 9:51 a.m. 7YJL 999. That's ongoing audible activity that Metrolink will be prosecuted for. It's audible activity in the state's environment. It's deliberate criminal activity. They're doing violence. They're not operating a train line. And that's City of Fontana and Metrolink together. 8ETD356, I believe, makes a U-turn and just stalks in the path on Sierra. 7YJL999 and 5DTW428. That's called amplification as well. License plate 30T8994, a 2013 Ford. It's blue, and that's a little construction paper with very small writing of a temporary license plate, whatever that is, but that's what it says. Driven by African American female. (7XLL 714, 7KFP 759, 6XTP 750, 8MSV 609, 7HAY 312, 56693N1, 4JUJ 869, 5990982, 8J58815, 8P.O.9 638, 6LBP 287, 7ZMH 604, 6XYZ 235, 6VPA 834, 7R96858, 7UQT 020, 6NMW 920, 8UNM 631, 3GOX 865, 8HHH 692. 8FFA 745, BW S6840, Washington 32649B1. That's Continental Towing. 8VAW 435, ADT Security Services 59895F3, I believe. That's ADT. 4UGF 425, 8SYY 166, P798NO, 8LJA 278, 78734C2, 6KOE 988, 3UEJ 154, 8SDP 261, 7NMN 227, 7VOG 175, 8GNA 888. Amazon Prime stalking under the fake sun and molesting, engaging in this gigantic orgy. All right, that I did not invite any demon-possessed stalker driving Amazon Prime vehicles. None of them to touch, and that's exactly what I documented while you're stalking with a fake son. They're all touching together while they're stalking together and monitoring together. That's exactly what this documentation is going toward. And this is that perpetual sex offense while the government is stalking you and monitoring you. License 5SYK783. 5SYK783, yeah. 8TGJ 484, 4YTC 899, 8GSK 805, 1399978. Directed light streaming in front of the bus. Okay, a long line in front of the bus. 8LUS 627, 6WEZ 646, 8UZP 868. Those are the demon-possessed employees of that company, owned and operated by the demon-possessed. You need to know that about Omnitrend. They're not alone in that. They are not alone in that. (6BYW149), 6FYM196, 8PIE756, 6ELC827, IONNRGY. City of Fontana maintaining audible activity in directed light.
hosing down the theater in relevant position under the fake sun and in directed light is P.O.C. That's what City of Ontario was doing at the museum. All right, you're looking at the same conduct, creating what is peculiarized light in relevant position and maintaining noise. While the people of the state, the same demonic entity, 8KAU 715, 7VBT 834, 8LRT 982, were patrolling in traffic, maintaining light activity. That's what City of Fontana is doing. It's P.O.C. It's currently 9:58 a.m. AMR is crossing path at Sierra and Arrow. Monitoring via communication devices, engaging in criminal facilitation of that conduct, and terrorism, demonstration of demon possession under the fake sun, 8KSU 414, and this exercise of directed light, demonic activity by American Medical Response, a violent sex offender, acting with the Upland Police and the Upland Fire Department. All right, all of that with knowledge of the documentation. This is the nature of the crime of monitoring, engaging in a perpetual sex offense, and this is heavily documented for what is stalking with light and molesting with light. That is the significance of that documentation. It is 9:59 a.m. Maintaining presence in the parking lot. City of Fontana. The demon possessed. This demon possessed. She's just looking off into the fake sunlight. Heavy, fat-faced, four-eyed, demon-possessed stalker, engaging in the ominous stalking, operating her communication device under the fake sun. All right, wearing a champion shirt. She is a loser in life and a loser in eternity and a loser in reality. 8 SCB 744. Monitoring with City of Fontana, both under the fake sun. 1590820. All right, City of Fontana is monitoring with her. All right, they're together. She's using light. They are sitting in their vehicle. This is what the fire department was doing yesterday with the demon-possessed stalkers in front of the Lewis Library. Understand what they're doing. They're maintaining a circuit of light. All right, and they're all monitoring together with communication devices, and they are together practicing demonic activity. All right, it's 10 o'clock on the dot, and as I've already shown you the state's fake sun over the Fontana Lewis Library, I'll go ahead and get video of that. 8TWH570. 70ZZ327, 8LZU961. City of Fontana, maintaining presence in front of the entrance. Fontana Police crossing path in relevant position. 7FFW134. So you see the conduct of demons, license 1253668, and it doesn't matter that the stamp of the municipality, it matters for purposes of prosecution. All right? The municipality is engaging in what is terrorism and is a perpetual sex offender on behalf of a government, with the government. All right, engaging in orgies that I didn't ask for. I didn't want to participate in the orgy with the weirdos of the municipality of the City of Fontana. All right, and no target individual is going to be subject to that. That's going to be the grounds for what is the making of very intense federal law. Okay, CTE 3554, 7HPE 482, 8VAG 358. And also having massive implications with regard to every other aspect of that prosecution and punishment and that which shall follow once you are prosecuted as a government, a sex offender in concert with the government, which makes you a perpetual sex offender and exceedingly violent one. All right, it is 10:03 a.m. This is Fontana Lewis, 6TE3554. That is an Arizona plate. All right, sitting in the parking lot, sitting in their vehicle, waiting for me to arrive at the entrance, stalking with light. That's a demonic activity. Doing so with Fontana Police. Fontana Police is in relevant position, but City of Fontana is under the fake sun, waiting for my arrival in front of the entrance, and this vehicle is pacing back and forth. This is a demon that's pacing back and forth. Just snatch that demon out of the car, and you'll see the psychopath walking back and forth and back and forth and back and forth in engineered light, because that's what they really want to do. They have made it palatable so they're going forward and reverse in a car, like they're having a trouble driving. It's pacing, and it's a demon, and they're in the demonic environment, and there is no form. All right, so you're understanding what is a demonic activity and all the ways in which it's appearing in front of your face. That is, again, CTE3554, a psychopath and a sex offender. This entire entity stalking in the bathroom. The ongoing documentation of their engagement in that such sexual violence, while they're also molesting all over your body in an environment that is designed for that, while they stalk you together and monitor with communication devices. This is the totality of that documentation. It is 10:04 a.m. Not only Amazon Prime, but FedEx and UPS and United States Postal Service documented engaging in stalking commercially, all right? While I am on the venue of the Omnitrans, I want to include that in documentation. It's 10:04 a.m. This is P.O.C. at Fontana Lewis. All right, I have documented what is the maintaining presence of the state's light source. This is simultaneous documentation of terrorism, such as 8SYT118 with directed light beside that van while they are intentionally crossing path as I'm walking toward the entrance to get more demon-possessed stalkers. Monitoring with the state that's providing peculiarized light at the Miller Amphitheater under the fake sun. License CTE 3554, for example, maintaining presence under the fake sun with the Fontana Police. This is everything that I've documented while I'm here, and this is the ongoing volume of that documentation. Minions in a line under the fake sun, 5RQE031. These are demons that are patrolling. This is demonic activity. License 7LDK455 and touching with the state with directed light. 7NCE385, touching with directed light, all right? That directed light moving all over the venue. These are sex offenders that are also stalking in the bathroom, stalking outside of the bathroom. That is the janitor. That is the librarians. That are the demon-possessed that are sitting in directed light in that computer lab that the state is aiming horizontally through the windows, all right? And this is directed light on the asphalt while the demon-possessed are driving around on the grounds under the fake sun. All right, 8YFZ774. And this is what you will be prosecuting for, with regard to what is terrorism by the demon-possessed. Stalking with that terrorizing environment while they engage in absolutely group demented conduct, okay? This sex offender, again, touching 5RQE031, touching with the state, with that which is not naturally occurring. Sunlight is not treated like a laser, just like you saw off the Omnitrans bus. That is the light that's reaching in front of her car into the shade to touch me while I'm standing on the sidewalk, okay? Monitoring together is 7MIN044, and this demon-possessed stalker holding up his trunk so I can't see his license plate. I will get that. He crosses path while I'm capturing video under the fake sun, and he's monitoring now, engaging in terrorism and sexual violence while he's monitoring 4YFK, 845, excuse me. It is currently, again, 1:19 p.m. And you have the state's light sources. That's what I captured because you're speaking about the documented sexual violence at Upland Public Library, where the state's fake sun is directly over that library in the city of Upland. And this is exactly what I was telling you that I documented. Who is this? Yeah, Satan, license 1603055, Fontana Police, a female and a male. Vehicle 55, intentionally crossing path in that same demonic activity underway, okay? Monitoring with them. License. I'm sorry, that's a license plate of Fontana PD engaging in terrorism and a sex offender, monitoring while my panties are down under the same directed light and under the same fake sun, knowing exactly what steps I'm taking. That's why they're crossing path visually in that parking lot, in that environment. Like I said, capturing the state's fake sun at this time and making sure that, and I'm sure I captured and I clarified in that video, that's not the sun over the Upland Public Library ceiling. And you have what is the same time in an entirely different city, and the state's fake sun is over the ceiling of the Fontana Lewis Library. This is impossible to coexist, all right? That's not the sun that's remaining present over those two venues in two different cities, maintaining that central presence directly over my head. And what are you also witnessing? The directed light, the engineered light, with which the state is molesting and stalking. And this is what is demonic activity while the people of the state are stalking with that entity. And these are psychopaths that are engaging in that conduct literally as I'm reciting it. And they are engaging in pacing around, because that's what Satan is doing in that engineered light. And that is Satan acting through the people, Satan acting through the Fontana Police, Satan acting through the city of Fontana. This is demonic activity, and that is sexual violence, and that's a sexually violent threat in that environment. And as I also spoke to in the video, you have what are the demon-possessed inside of the venue, stalking around the bathroom. You have what is pacing around me while I'm sitting on the computer. And this is while directed light is being aimed onto me and their shadows are moving in real time. Let me be clear, this is the same conduct that's occurring outside while they're driving around in the state's light and impossible light activity is occurring. That's exactly what the demons are doing inside. All right, they're pacing around pursuant to what I'm doing on a computer, a communication device, monitoring, and it is also demonic activity pursuant to a specific demonic behavioral pattern with real-time knowledge, simultaneity to what I'm doing, including that which is on the internet, i.e. 18 U.S.C. 22618, subsections 1 and 2. And you have what is pacing around, and this is terrorism while they engage in that demonic activity, and do so with knowledge of what you're documenting. And then in addition to that, you are being molested while they are engaging in this conduct, and their shadows are moving across the wall in front of you while they are on the opposite side of the room walking past. All right, that's the same conduct with directed light all over you, all over the surfaces all around you. They're doing it inside of a building. All right, and that is what is called a venue.
All right. It is 1:22 p.m. and that's P.O.C. All right, sex offenders, 5KK N675, molesting my person with the Fontana police, which I did capture on video as they are crossing path in what is directed light while I'm exiting the venue of the Fontana Lewis Library. And I captured video. That's documentation of the entity acting via Ontario police engaging in that sexual molestation, touching while stalking, with knowledge of what is reasonably construed, and that's how it's going to be treated under law. Documentation as a demand that the government stop stalking you, just like you would with any other stalker. And when they do not comply with that, that is documentation and prosecution for that sex offender. All right, and this is the state engaging in that molestation of my body with knowledge of what I'm documenting. This is the nature of the crime of monitoring. And that's Fontana police engaging in that sexual molestation as an entity. All right, and every documented actor engaging in that molestation. It is 7:53 p.m. and so I'll get some more sex offenders as well. I think I can go. License plate 85606H3H as in Henry, 7PQW028. Molesting is 6UVH155. All right, stalking in the parking lot of Citibank, engaging in sexual violence while they're monitoring together in that parking lot. This is license plate. Going all out of their way to make sure they reverse all the way back, trying to touch. All right, this sex offender, license plate 7KAB172, operation of their communication device in that directed light using Citibank at the intersection of Sierra Avenue and Arrow for stalking in the path while I'm subject to that sexual molestation. They are, by virtue of engagement in that criminal system with the government, all right, engaging in that molestation. I just want to be clear. This directed light is covering the grounds. They are as a group touching all together, surrounding, that is stalking all together, and doing so at the venue of Citibank. That's a matter of documentation. All right? And as these company names are dragged into that prosecution, you will see. You shall see. I'm going to tell you right now because they don't want their names in it. But they're in it. And let me be clear, Citibank's, they're not innocent, okay? The fake sun is over their venue during the day. Those employees that are there working at the bank, they're third-party demon-possessed group stalkers, all right? But I'm speaking to what is the policy, and understand companies will not want to be associated with that. You don't have a choice when the government is monitoring. This is the nature of what is a corrupt government, by the way. The government acts through the people. You don't have an argument, especially when you're talking about being present and facilitating and contributing to what is an entirely unnatural environment, an entirely unnatural group conduct. This is the demonic activity. This is what's wrong with them. This is no longer a secret. All right, and that's also the removal of any argument. The demons can come to court. They can argue whatever they want. They're going to be prosecuted. All right, like I said before, I shall be the Oprah Winfrey of federal prosecutions because they're going to be prosecuted. All right, and this is documentation that is demon-proof, anticipating every lie out of Satan's mouth based on its false premises upon which this whole system was created. They're going to be prosecuted. 24718C1, 5TLP240. AGQX 3317, HOF 074, 8GQW 796, 8YGL 931. And it is 7:56, by the way, 7:56 p.m. Alrighty. Ongoing molestation, and this is terrorism by molestation. License plate 1535754, 1545798. This is at Fontana Metrolink train station. It's 8:06 p.m. and that's the state flying directly over the train station in directed light. All right, direct indication of what I'm documenting and ongoing terrorism while I'm being molested. That is the sex offender stalking in an airplane. It's 8:06 p.m. It's 8:09 p.m. That's creation of audible activity while they're molesting. At the same time that I start recording, that's demonic, okay? License 1387136. All right, 8:12 p.m. Maintenance of peculiarized light, relevant positioning in directed light, crossing a path in directed light, monitoring with communication devices, operation of said communication devices. This is license plate 1420240 and license plate 1535424. Omnitrans. Route 61. This is license plate 1535819. And this is Route 61 at 8:14 p.m. arriving at the bus stop near the P.O.C. (451TU). Monitoring with the state that is creating peculiarized light. You've got the train lights on. The train tracks, the flashing light, and the ongoing beeping. This is light activity, audible activity. The driver of the bus lets off a group stalker at the train tracks. Do you know that they have passed up bus stops as I have requested a stop because they're trying to stop me from getting where I want to go? And what am I doing? I'm documenting that. I'm documenting in public documentation. Anyway, this is P.O.C. and as the group stalker gets off the bus, again, they're in directed light. Directed light is on the bus. This is light activity in directed light, the flashing lights. This is entirely demonic, and they're monitoring while I'm on the internet, monitoring what I'm doing, and I just got through uploading, so understand that this demonic activity, this system, it is centered on technology, okay? And you have what is having literally a haywire. They're kind of going nuts because I uploaded a video to YouTube and I uploaded a video to my Google Drive. And I did so while in motion, as opposed to when I am stationary, for example, at 630. The demon that's driving this bus is opening and closing the doors. That's creating light activity. Just did it again. It's 8:47 p.m. I'm speaking to what is terrorism while this demon is operating the bus. That's documentation. So you have what is use of my internet, and I'll just document what they're doing, and using the train as a means of light activity and letting the third party off the bus, which is crossing a path on the bus in directed light, and this flashing of light is occurring. This is enhancement. This is also demonic. This is a peculiarized light on a massive scale using the train. All right, and they're doing it while they're monitoring what I'm doing on my phone. So, for example, when I am in the vehicle at 630 North Fern and I'm stationary, the entity is surrounding, and there's a tight network of communication devices, and it is substantial slowing down. It's not a network failure. It's not a signal loss, okay? It's monitoring. And this is the same. When I'm in motion, for example, on the bus, it went through very quickly, all right, where group stalkers are trying to keep up in relevant position, and the state is flying over, and they directed light is on the venue, and the group stalkers are on the bus as well. But this is prolonged stationary presence after I documented those videos to my Google Drive and to my YouTube page. So I want to document this. This is P.O.C. I'm just letting you know what I just did, and this is a direct reaction to that. Okay, as Union Pacific has demonstrated, the state will will pull out a train, will pull out a utility construction work, will pull out anything to engage in the P.O.C., and that's what this is. It is 8:49 p.m. And that is Union Pacific engaging in the P.O.C. This is the company engaging in federal stalking, utilizing interstate commerce to reverse both the train and monitoring with the people. License 451TU, a handicap plate is what I'm documenting. They're using the roads and the highways while they're monitoring on the venue of the internet with communication devices.
including Omnitrans, and every group stalker on this bus, all right, they're all engaging in 18 U.S.C. 2261A territory. And this is demonic activity by the demon possessed. So this is terrorism while they're engaging in federal stalking. It's 8:50 p.m. and I captured those in images. This is P.O.C. 8X72897 Fox Rent-A-Car 6KGG680, and Fox Rent-A-Car has directed light in front of that vehicle. It is nightfall, all right, not their headlights. This is directed light while they are using the roads and the highways, engaging in federal stalking. They also have a facilitating venue across the street from the San Bernardino County building on Holt Boulevard, where the state's fake sun is directly over. This is P.O.C. It's 9:27 p.m. 67432X2. I'm at Grove and Holt Boulevard at 9:29 p.m. 8NGM552. All right, it is 9:33. That is 1535619, bus 1360. I just got off of that bus at Lemon and Holt in Ontario, and that was P.O.C. the entire time. All right, no longer subject to it on the roads and the highways while that bus is driving. I mean, they're still engaged in federal stalking right now, but that is while I am in transit. In other words, that's what I mean by that. The people of the state are routinely engaging in the criminal system in direct violation of existing federal law. But it is 9:33 p.m. and I have arrived back to Ontario, and this is P.O.C. All right, it's 9:48 p.m. Ontario police are group stalking. Well, they're group stalking, period, but this is documentation of a specific act of terrorism. As I am walking to the museum where the entity knows that I am walking what is west on Transit, and it is 9:48 p.m. Union Pacific is engaged in terrorism. It is routinely. Okay, the state is using this train as the guise of, which I documented, the sound of the train inside of the car that I'm parked at, where I am inside of it at 630 North Fern. That's terrorism, okay? And it's demonic. While monitoring is underway, and it's letting you know that Union Pacific engaging in terrorism with the Ontario police that are visibly stalking on Lemon and Holt. All right, with that, this is directed light engaging in that ominous stalking conduct, headlights toward me, while the amplified use of the train, that is specifically Union Pacific, because this is the train routinely documented using the Amtrak train tracks to create audible activity in directed light, which I am currently being molested by. And you have what are the group stalkers of the Ontario Police Department group stalking at that intersection in concert with audible activity while the state is stalking via aircraft. All right, sounding helicopter activity while I'm at it, while I'm walking to B&G Plaza. Sounding helicopter activity. Okay, walking back, and as I begin recording this, and I'm witnessing the demon-possessed stalker that is the Ontario Police Department in alignment to me while I'm crossing the street, aiming with our headlights. This is the stalking conduct. This is terrorism engaged in by the police who are engaging in federal stalking. That's terrorism, and also demonstrating demon possession. That's terrorism. All right, acting with the commercial actor Union Pacific, who is again engaging in federal stalking and criminal facilitation of federal stalking. It is currently 9:49 p.m. and that's P.O.C. (10:51 p.m.) State is circling a helicopter. In directed light, flashing light is across the street at the venue. This is P.O.C. (10:52 p.m.) flying right over the museum and is repeatedly circling. All right, this is terrorism.
the very familiar and heavily documented method of terrorism by the public entity that is stalking and stalking with an environment and engaging in group stalking with helicopter. That's the public entity that is also a sex offender, does that while your panties are down inside of the bathroom. That's what the entity is engaged in. It is currently 10:52 p.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Art. That is the psychopath that is stalking at the venue where the environment remains, and that is P.O.C. Okay, I just want to document after I captured that video at 11:07, 11:10 p.m. right now as I'm opening up my podcast and opening up my browser to upload this video. Ontario Fire Department briefly sounding sirens, doing that in the directed light that Ontario PD is creating. That's stalking with light. This is the peculiarized light, stalking with light. The police are doing it using a police vehicle. Understand that. It's the exact same demonic activity that the people engage in. Okay? Stalking with light. They are in directed light. You can literally see the demon that is running over across the street, and you're seeing their upright shadow at a distance away from them along that brick wall. These are demons of the Ontario Police Department engaging in what is terrorism and doing so with the people of the state. And they are stalking in relevant position in what is also peculiarized light by the flashing light on the venue across the street. This is a demonic environment. That's a pattern, all right? These are hallmarks where Ontario police are stalking in the path and engaging in criminal facilitation with the people of the state. That's exactly what Upland Police Department were engaged in last night. This is demonic activity, and this is the pattern of conduct by law enforcement as they are engaging in that demonic system of federal stalking. It's 11:12 p.m., and this is criminal facilitation as the demon-possessed are engaged in federal stalking. Ontario Fire Department as a means of audible activity, Union Pacific as a means of audible activity, and you have what is this following the state flying over by helicopter in the exact same environment, okay? This is P.O.C. It is 11:12 p.m. (11:18). Ongoing train activity, light activity by Ontario police who are loitering in the path. The train is providing audible activity while they are stalking in the path. Okay, this is P.O.C. in directed light. This is the same as the state patrolling over in airplane and or in helicopter. The train is a means of audible. This is the noise combined with the light. All right, and it is in directed light. I want to document that. It's 11:18. Union Pacific engaging in terrorism with the police. All right, that's P.O.C. Monitoring with communication devices and doing so pursuant to what I'm doing as I'm doing it on my phone on the venue of the internet. This is the demon-possessed engaging in federal stalking. All right, and by the way, that train you cannot hear at 630 North Fern. All right, and it's certainly not the train in Upland. All right, this is P.O.C. and this is terrorism by the demon-possessed. Ontario police loitering in relevant position in directed light, monitoring with the demon-possessed that are the people of the state. The demons don't have any form, and they're all in directed light stalking together. That's P.O.C.